Hello everyone and welcome to the Stock Martin channel. I have an awesome video for you today. We are going to be talking about MULN Automotive, and its stock went up more than 30% just today alone, and we are going to be talking about why. It is because of this interview I will be posting right now. But before we get down into this interview, just give me a big thumbs up, a like button, keep me alive on YouTube, smash the subscribe button, notification bell, hit all to get my latest uploaded videos, share this page with others. Don't forget to get your free stocks using my links down below right now. You can deposit $1 into a Moomoo link to get Neo stock, put in at least $100 to get a free Lucid stock. And also you can get up to 5 free stocks, each valued up to $3,500 from Moomoo. And I did just want to transition and show you what this stock MULN from Mullen Automotive just did today. And right about 1 o'clock p.m., this stock went from $2.24 and moved up more than 39% to the point that it is trading right now over $3 a share. And it is because of this interview. Check it out in its entirety. And thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. And I'll make a video soon, so I'll talk to you later very, very soon. Take a look at this awesome video.
David Michery is the CEO of MULN Technologies. David, welcome to Benzinga's EV Listmaker Show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
First off, very nice background. You probably win today for having the coolest background of the day. I don't even quite know where to start, honestly, because there's a lot to discuss, and the longer I wait, the less time we have. So maybe I should just jump right in here. Let's start with the obvious question here. How do you explain the excitement around your company the last couple of months?
Well, we got a nice car, got some good battery technology, and we want to put Americans back to work by building great products here in America. So our focus is specifically and primarily to create jobs in this country and build great products that we can be proud of.
Yeah, it just loaded. Does that take you by surprise at all?
Not really.
Okay.
You try to stay even keel right across the middle. When things are really great, you don't get overly excited. When things aren't going so well, you don't get depressed, and you try to be focused and execute on your objectives, and hopefully the market will react to your progress. So that's kind of the plan.
All right. So for people that don't know, MULN, you've got the MULN FIVE. For the skeptics out there, go ahead and sell them on the MULN FIVE right now.
Well, let's start with it's beautiful. I intentionally wanted to make this car sexy, but yet I wanted it to be aggressive. I wanted the vehicle to break some boundaries. I felt that me as a car enthusiast, that I had an opportunity to work with some of the best people on the planet to get a product made, researched it, designed it, did everything here in the U.S., brought in some good partners, went out and brought in Andreas Thurner from Thurner Designs, who was renowned for his build on the Rolls-Royce Ghost. And I sat him down and I said, hey, look, I want to do something real special here. It's an opportunity for me to take a product from inception and take it all the way through to the delivery to the consumer. And I wanted to create not just a vehicle that had performance, but a vehicle that was sexy. And I really want to credit, Elon Musk and Tesla for opening the door for all of the EV guys, including myself, to give us an opportunity to be successful. And at the end of the day, when we sat down and we looked at what we wanted to do and what people were doing, we said, listen, it doesn't have to be a cheap car. It doesn't have to be a small car. It doesn't have to be compete for the cheapest car in America, but it has to be something that is appealing. And I hate to say it, but sex does sell, and performance is definitely something that garners a lot of attention. So we tried to bridge all of the gaps, and I sat with Andreas and I commissioned him to deliver what I had conceptually thought about for many years and actually put it on paper. And then from that conceptual rendition to a vehicle that we debuted on November 17th. And I was able to add features that I thought were important, not only from, let's call it the aesthetics perspective, but important because they reduce weight. With electric vehicles, one of the most important things is weight. The more weight you can reduce, the more efficient the vehicle becomes. And I thought about this, and one of the things that I personally like about vehicles, I'm attracted to rims and calipers and rotors. Why? Because I feel like that's the shoes of the vehicle. That's the first thing you see. Some of the most exotic, fast cars on the planet all have carbon ceramic rotors because they stop. They offer exceptional stopping ability. And they look good. And they're extremely light. So I thought to myself, well, hell, if we're going to build a vehicle that is going to go real fast, we got to be able to stop it real fast. And what better way to do it than carbon ceramics? I really didn't care about the price, the added price to ensure that I could stop the vehicle and give it a good look, but more importantly, reduce almost 200 pounds of weight off of all four sides of that vehicle. That to me was the most important part. Forget about the 23-inch magnesium wheels. Forget about the 15-inch carbon ceramic rotors, the big brake kit. I mean, it's a good-looking car, but it's practical and it's efficient and it can stop.
Yeah.
Then we decided, hey, we want to go. I'm sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you give us an update on pre-orders, or and if not, when we will get an update on that?
We haven't disclosed that publicly, so with all due respect, that would have to be released through a public disclosure, and then we could then obviously comment on that.
Fair enough. A lot of questions in the chat, but just people wanting to know when your earnings date is. Have you scheduled that yet?
No, we have not.
Okay. One of the lessons we've learned here in the past couple of years, especially as we've seen this proliferation of new EV companies, is in some respects the timing wasn't ideal because a lot of these companies are expanding now into what became a chip shortage that nobody saw coming. We've seen across the board production delays, companies trying to lower the bar for themselves. How will MULN sort of avoid those pitfalls?
Well, we'll use suppliers domestically. Our focus really is to create a supply chain that consists of companies located here in the U.S. and not have a dependency on Chinese or foreign entities that would potentially restrict the flow of not just chips, but any type of products that we would use in our vehicle. The entire ecosystem from beginning to end for us, meaning MULN, not just the industry, is going to be American. Not only are we going to build this car in Tunica, Mississippi, we're also going to create the supply chain from Detroit all the way down into Florida, right down that automotive corridor. But we're pretty confident, we're fairly confident that we've identified enough partners to be able to ensure that we are not going to have any delays in the builds of our products. For us, again, it's important to bring a lot of these jobs back from the international territory and bring them back into America where they belong. So that's the focus.
All right. Yeah. Chat, I see you guys, by the way. A lot of questions in the chat. People are really fired up here. I'm trying to only ask the questions that are most common that I see from the most number of people. I am seeing a lot of questions just about the vans. Do you have an update on the vans?
Sure. Again, we released the public information not too long ago that we're going to be delivering our Class 1 vehicle in the second quarter of this year. We're excited about that. We can't disclose to who. That hasn't been publicly made available yet, but we plan on doing that shortly, and we plan on announcing that it is a very large company that is going to buy a lot of these vehicles. We feel that we have a great product. We feel that This product is going to be very competitive, and it's competitive in a time when people can't really get product, and we'll have product to deliver. What's nice about what we're doing it here in America. We're doing it in Tunica, Mississippi, and we're going to show the world that the dependency on outside entities no longer exists, and we can do it ourselves here in America.
Is that order confirmed? That's not like a pre-order, right? That's like a signed seal.
No. We're actually building for them. So
okay,
we're excited. We're going to deliver the pilot vehicles to them in the second quarter, as we stated, and we're excited about it. This is a major Fortune 500 company. I'll put it that way.
If you had to ballpark it, because Q2 starts on Friday, if you had to ballpark it, would you say like earlier Q2 or later Q2?
Oh, I don't want. It's going to be in Q2.
Okay, fair enough.
We're going to turn it into a press event. I promise. We're gonna make it. Everyone will know, and they will see, and they will be part of it.
Yeah, and something else that we've seen a lot in the past couple of years, and I'm not really referring to MULN here, but just with the proliferation of new EV companies out there, is the need to raise money on a repeated basis. How are you feeling right now about your balance sheet, your cash, and maybe the need to raise more down the line? Because it's no fault of your own, but costs are going up. You obviously know this.
Well, that's a good question, and I'm happy that you asked it. We put out a public disclosure a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken, where we announced that we're going to have at least $65 million of net cash on our balance sheet when we file our Q. I believe it's due on May 14th. That's been a public disclosure that went out a few days ago, and we stand by that. So we're proud to say that we have a factory in Tunica, Mississippi. We've delivered two very nice MULN FIVEs, and I'm also proud to say that we're also going to have the high performance vehicle available in September, as we stated in previous press releases, and we're going to tour that vehicle across the United States. We're going to go to all the major tracks, and we're going to make the car available for drive by all of these great retail investors that have supported MULN. And we're going to show them that we're thankful and the gratitude that we have for their support by allowing them to participate in coming down and doing the touchy-feely and drive the vehicle. We're going to have a Formula E driver there to give them drives in the RS vehicle, which is the vehicle that goes 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds and produces over 204 miles an hour of top speed. That vehicle, they're going to get a ride in. The normal high-performance MULN FIVE, which is a fully drivable and functional vehicle, will have multiple vehicles available for them to test drive, and they'll be able to go around the track and experience what our product is like, an actual vehicle that can go 150 plus miles an hour and fully functional and with all of the performance that we've claimed over the last several months that we're ready to deliver. We're going to deliver, and that will take place in the fourth quarter. So we're excited about that. We're setting that up right now, and that's a way for us to say thank you to all of the supporters, the hedge funds, family offices, institutional investors, retail investors that believe in us and support us. This is our way of saying thank you.
The tidbit about the drivable vehicles is funny because, as we've learned, seeing a video of a moving vehicle is not necessarily the same as having a drivable vehicle. But I guess taking the thing on a roadshow would put that to bed. Can you expect, or can we expect, to have some sort of production or delivery guidance from MULN this year?
Yes, we will. Obviously, our vice president of marketing, his name's Jason Putnam. He will be addressing the media momentarily. But yeah, we have a lot of great things in the pipeline. We're excited about where we're going. And the most important thing for us, right? With MULN, you can actually get in a vehicle and you can actually drive it. And I mean, you can go 150 miles an hour today. So we're excited about that. Our Dragonfly is a beautiful, sexy sports car that we debuted at the Javits Center in New York, April of 2019. And it garnered over 250 million media impressions. We went on to sponsor Indianapolis 500, or co-sponsored it. We ran commercials on NBC, and we've been working diligently to bring that IP to the U.S. and make it a 100% U.S. built car. And if we can do that and get that IP, we're confident we're going to deliver a vehicle that will outperform the specs we talked about in April of 2019. It'll be the same performance as the Mullen FIVE RS. So the lineup of vehicles is exciting. The quality of the products are going to be American. That's our focus. And obviously, the proof is in the pudding. We'll start to have people come out and do the touchy-feely drive and experience what American pride's all about.
What is the biggest hurdle, the biggest overhang right now, the biggest thing standing in Mullen's way?
COVID. No, I'm kidding. I would say the process, really, right? I mean, again, our standards here in the U.S. are very complicated, more difficult than any other territory. I mean, listen, even in the EU, certification in Europe, isn't as difficult. For example, the difference between an offset, right here, we do offset tests. I'm sure, other places don't require that. We have dual stage airbag requirements. Other places don't do that. They're single stage. We're the only country that requires, we have to protect a seatbelt occupant. Think about that. In Europe, if you don't wear your seatbelt, it's your fault. Here in America, if you don't wear your seatbelt, it's our fault. So we have to create measures to protect against the person that doesn't wear a seatbelt. So, again, the overlap test left and right, it's not just a dead center hit. The load capacity, roof crush test, different angles, can vary from 3 times load to 4 times load, depending on what type of vehicle, if it's our cargo van, if it's our Mullen FIVE, if it's our sports car. So again, it's good for the consumer because, listen, we're all going to deliver high quality products, and we all hope to achieve a 5-star crash rating. But with a 5-star crash rating, we don't want to compromise the look, the feel, and the performance of the vehicle. And that's really the trick. So if there's anything, I think time really is, our biggest enemy, meaning it just takes time to get from point A to point Z. And it's just the way it is. All of these guys out there that tell people they can get something done, in a year, again, they're lying. Okay. I mean, to take a car from beginning to end, it's a 3 to 5 year process. It takes the OEMs longer, right? I mean, it's a product of what this manufacturing process is. And then the homologation, the certification. So you got to go through the process. And when I hear a lot of these guys, my competitors in the space, talk about how, they're delivering vehicles in November, I know that they're going to, come out in November, say, we meant next November. Then they're going to say, just say the truth. We tell people all along, right? Honesty is the best policy. We've never deviated. We've made it clear that our Mullen FIVE is going to start to hit fourth quarter of 24 and into 25. But that's a real target date, not a date that'll get pushed. Now, it could be sooner, but that's all predicated on, obviously homologation, right? So again, you get the engineering cars out there, but engineering cars are not vehicles that you can sell, right? These are vehicles that you put on the road and you test. So look, let's all be honest and let's deliver facts, right? When we tell somebody we're going to deliver 350 miles of range, we're going to deliver 350 miles of range. We're not going to deliver 200 miles of range. We're going to be honest. When we tell somebody a car costs X, it's going to be X. It's not going to be, we're going to have to calculate what the savings would be over the next 10 years and take all of these federal and local and state incentives. No, come on, man. This is the cost. Let's be real. Let's tell it like it is and let the consumer decide, hey, do they want to take their hard-earned dollar and buy your product? So we got to give it the best shot we can and deliver honesty, quality, and integrity.
And the investor, for that matter, too. I mean, I think a lot of people have been burned in the last 2 years buying into.
It's definitely hurt the space. I mean, if people could be honest and do as they say, the space would be a lot different. But look, it just takes. I always told people, listen, you don't know who's going to come out of the race, right? There's a lot of guys right now that are in the race. Some started sooner, others started later. And I always tell people, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. You know, you can take a look at some of these companies like Microsoft. I think Microsoft was a penny stock, you know, when it first came out as a pink sheet. And then, you know, obviously we all know what happens. It became generational. And, you know, it's never the company you think is going to, you know, run through the gate and win the whole race, come out with a $100 billion market cap. That's usually the guy that goes out of business first. But again, every time I've ever looked at companies and gauged performance, it's the guys that are persistent and determined and refuse to quit, because you're going to have up and downs, and it's how you deal with them, and it's dealing with adversity, and it's being able to adapt. And we've been in business for a decade. It's not like we just came out, a month ago because there's a SPAC craze and took some crayons and a piece of paper and drew a car and, hey, we're in the EV space now. No, we've been, listen, we don't talk about and brag about the fact that other than Tesla, we're the only other guy that ever homologated a car for sale. We acquired Dakota Automotive assets in 2012. And, that car was fully homologated. We reintroduced it in November of 2014 at the LA Auto Show. And we garnered over the last, call it 8 years, a tremendous amount of experience on selling a car, servicing a car. God forbid, right? Recalls. We dealt with an airbag recall. But, the car was god ugly, but it gave us experience and it gave us IP, very important battery IP that we've been developing for quite some time now.
I don't remember Microsoft being a penny stock. I'll have to look into that. But last questions here, David. I'm getting a lot of questions about the government loan and the battery. Sorry, government loan, battery. Can you give us an update on either of those?
Sure. Okay. Well, let's start with the United States Department of Energy and their AVTM loan. We spent a considerable amount of time on Capitol Hill in 2019. I personally addressed Congress, the House of Representatives, the Senate, and visited the White House back in 19. Garnered support for our application that we filed subsequently on January 8th, 2020 with the United States Department of Energy. The portal, real nice little story here. The portal was closed for submissions, period. The United States current administration at the White House ordered them to open the portal for us and waived application fees to allow MULN to file, and we did that on January 8th. And then obviously we all ran into something called COVID, and it kind of delayed our program start. The good news is the plan has changed. So a lot of great things have happened. When we filed on January 8th, and that application, I believe, is publicly available, MULN didn't have a factory. MULN had one vehicle called the K50 and had a plan to build a facility from the ground up that was very cost intensive. And it was going to be in the state of Washington and Spokane specifically. And when we got the opportunity to buy a facility that was about 5 to 6 years old, that had state-of-the-art assembly equipment, and it was a seizure that was done. It was the former Green Tech Automotive operations. We were able to make a deal and get it on pennies on the dollar and retrofit it to our application and purposes. So we were able to save hundreds of millions of dollars by acquiring a facility in Tunica. And then we developed our own car, meaning the MULN FIVE. So the plan changed, and then we also addressed the last mile issue with the inability of current suppliers to provide last mile vehicles, and that includes the OEMs. Everybody's having an issue doing it. So we wanted to step in and be able to offer a solution, in which we believe we have. So the plan changed. So this April, which is coming up in a matter of days, we're going to submit an amended our new application to the United States Department of Energy, and then we will be visiting Capitol Hill, and we will be pushing that initiative, and we believe we can get to what we call a substantially complete application, which means that the United States Department of Energy is obligated to go on the road with us to raise the additional capital we need in order to fulfill our entire plan, which is building out 1.3 million of additional square footage of body shop, paint shop, and expanded general assembly at our current facility, which is 100 acres in Tunica, Mississippi. So we're going to expand that in multiple phases. that plan, we believe, will get to a substantially complete by June. Then we would get to what they call conditional commitment for funding, which we believe will be in the fourth quarter, which means that's the United States Treasury when they fund. And so from that perspective, we've been working on this for quite some time. It started back in 19 and it continues to the present. We feel now with the introduction of the MULN FIVE, we ran, the DOE required that we do a marketing study, which we did. It took us 6 months to do on the MULN FIVE, and the results were amazing. It was just unbelievable. When we debuted the vehicle on November 17th in Los Angeles, the United States Department of Energy was present for the debut, and so were the local municipality, both at the city and state level from the great state of Tennessee. So we have a lot of support out there, and we believe that the new plan, along with MULN being public on NASDAQ capital markets, and the fact that we're flush with cash right now, we're in a good position. We think we're going to get this thing done, and that's in relation to the AVTM loan. So we're excited about that, and we think that we've made tremendous progress.
And on the battery?
Battery. Okay, so we released a PR not too long ago, and prior to that, we announced some results of testing that we did here in the United States. We've been developing solid-state polymer battery solutions for quite some time now, and we're filing patents all over the place in relation to our technology. The importance of it, and I listened to the individual from symbol KULR,
Yep.
who was
Cooler. Yep.
speaking prior to me, and he had talked a little bit about it. What he neglected to talk about was some of the benefits of solid-state polymer. It's a safe, clean, reliable solution, meaning we're not mining dangerous metals out of the earth to make these batteries like you do with your lithium ion phosphate, lithium magnesium cobalt, lithium aluminum, and just all of these different cathodes, and all these super hybrid anodes, your silicon graphene on the anode side. And everybody thinks that they can get to the theoretical maximum potential for an electrolyte of 5 volts. We, on the other hand, are realists, right? We work diligently to produce quality products. Our solid-state polymer battery, we rated it at 300 amp hours. We tested it here in the US, tested at 343 amp hours at 4.3 volts. I'm going to put it in perspective for you. That is literally unbelievable. I mean, to the point to where the United States Department of Energy was like amazed with the results. More importantly than those results, degradation. Here's the key that the other guy didn't key on. Degradation. When you take a typical lithium cell, that's either lithium sulfur, lithium ion, phosphate, lithium magnesium cobalt. You take any standardized chemistry. Degradation after 5,000 cycles is about 80%. Degradation after 100,000 cycles on our solid-state polymer cell was 2%, meaning a flat line across, 2%. That is where you have what we call the paradigm shift, right? That, to me, is the difference. Now, let's talk about safety. You could take a torch, right? I heard some comments about heat and 1,000 degrees. Listen, here's the bottom line. You could take a torch and burn a hole right through our cell, and we have tests demonstrating that. Put a hole right through it and nothing will happen. You take a standard lithium-based cell and you put a torch to it, it's going to explode like a bomb. You take a standard cell and you throw it in some salt water, watch what happens. You're going to have a pretty nice fire. You take our cell, you dip it in some salt water, leave it there for a couple of days, take it out, hook it up, it works fine. So not only is it safe, when it comes time to repurpose it or it comes time to dispose of it, it's not considered dangerous goods. And that's the key here. So it's safe, it's efficient, and it costs about 50% less than standard chemistry to produce, and it occupies 50% of the space. So all I think are, hey, this could be a major paradigm shift in the entire landscape of the battery world.
All right. We are up against the clock here with David Michery, the CEO of MULN. And then before we let you go, I guess just there's so much speculation about MULN as it relates to Amazon and Apple. I've been trying for the past couple of days now to actually find the source of these rumors, and it's the internet, man. You can't find anything. You can't find the genesis of anything. What can you speak to with regards to the rumors tying MULN to Apple and Amazon?
I would just say that they're all just a bunch of rumors until you have actual evidence to corroborate any statement. I would consider any and all statements rumors until they have been corroborated via a press release or some form of corroboration from an entity that would be a subject of a rumor.
That's a good rule of thumb, I think. David Michery, the CEO of MULN Technologies. The stock's been going up while you've been on with me, David. So I think you're probably having a good day. Thanks for coming on with us here on Benzinga's List Maker Show, and we'd love to have you back on again sometime in Q2 when we have some news to discuss.
How about you come on down and drive the vehicles with us? That'll be fun.
Well, they don't let me out of the office, but if they did, I would.
I would love to have you.
All right. Thanks a lot, David.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.